Ever wonder how our understanding of God and the universe can completely flip upside down? Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating spiritual evolution, tracing the path from a cosmos of pure light to one of cosmic drama, and finally, to a radical call for rebellion and escape. We'll compare three ancient schools of thought: the Hermetic teachings of Poimandres, classical Christian Gnosticism, and the radical texts found in Nag Hammadi. This journey will change how you see everything. Let's start with a big question. What is the ultimate reality, the supreme God? In Hermeticism, specifically in the text called Poimandres, God is presented as a luminous intelligence. This God is a single, unified being of light and life, and most importantly, is immanent, meaning present within the world and within us. You don't need to look outside for this God. You find it through an inner awakening. In a sense, God knows itself through humanity's self-realization. The core idea is that God is already present inside you. Now, let's jump to the early Christian Gnostics like Valentinus and Basilides. Here, the picture changes dramatically. God becomes Bythus, the abyss, or the unbegotten God. This God is no longer present in the world, but is radically transcendent, existing beyond all thought and comprehension. You can't reach this God directly. Instead, there's a complex hierarchy of intermediaries, beings called aeons and intellects, that stand between humanity and the ultimate source. God is now distant, almost unreachable. Then we get to the Nag Hammadi texts, like the Apocryphon of John. This is where things get even more extreme. The supreme principle is called the ineffable monad. It's so utterly unknowable that it has no name, no form, not even any definable qualities. The very concept of divine mind or intellect, which was the highest principle in Hermeticism, is now seen as just a secondary emanation. This is a major rupture. The ultimate source is no longer accessible to us, not even through a chain of divine beings. In another text, the hypostasis of the Archons, the true God is completely absent from the world, exiled. The cosmos is instead governed by ignorant lesser powers. So, you see the clear evolution? We go from the immanent, knowable God of Hermeticism to the mediated, transcendent God of Valentinus, and finally to the radically unknowable and absent God of the Nag Hammadi library. This shift in the nature of God has a huge impact on how they viewed the cosmos itself. Was the world a school, a hospital, or a prison? For Poimandres, the cosmos is a living, ordered, and beautiful creation. It is governed by 7 planetary rulers who are not evil, but are simply administrators of cosmic law. There's no great cosmic catastrophe, no fall from grace that broke the universe. The world is fundamentally good. It's a place of learning, an educational environment designed to help the soul on its journey. The cosmos is your teacher. Valentinus introduces a sense of tragedy. His cosmology includes the story of the fall of a divine being named Sophia, or wisdom. Her passion and error led to the creation of a flawed material world. The creator of this world, the demiurge, isn't necessarily malevolent, just ignorant of the true God above him. So, for Valentinus, the cosmos is not a prison, but a wounded world, a deficient reflection of a higher reality. It's something to be healed. Basilides views the cosmos more like a machine. It's a highly structured, hierarchical system governed by oppressive rulers called Archons. They enforce a rigid karmic law that traps souls in a cycle of reincarnation. The world isn't just flawed. It's an oppressive system that's very difficult to escape. Then Nag Hammadi takes this to a whole new level. In the Apocryphon of John, the world is created by a false god, Yaldabaoth, who is arrogant, blind, and jealous. He creates the material world as a degraded, counterfeit imitation of the true spiritual realm, the pleroma. In the hypostasis of the Archons, the situation is even grimmer. The cosmos is an outright prison. The Archons are portrayed as violent rulers who deceive, dominate, and trap humanity. Matter itself is a deliberate trap designed to hold the divine spark captive. The world has become inherently hostile. The turning point is clear, from a place of learning to a place of war. This brings us to the figure of the creator god or demiurge. In Nag Hammadi, the hostility towards the creator and his archons is radicalized. They are not just ignorant. They are malicious jailers, so if the world is a trap, what does that make us? Are we divine beings or helpless prisoners? In Poimandres, humanity is fundamentally divine. Man is the incarnation of the heavenly anthropos, a divine prototype. The fall into a physical body isn't a sin, but a result of fascination with the material world, causing a kind of divine amnesia. We simply forgot our true nature. We are fallen gods who need to remember who we are. For Valentinus, humanity is divided. There are three types of people: the spiritual, the soulish, and the material. Only the spiritual ones, the pneumatics, contain the divine spark and are destined for salvation. Your destiny is somewhat predetermined by your nature. Basilides is even more pessimistic. He sees humanity as heavily burdened by the karma of past sins. Salvation is extremely rare, reserved for a very select few. The Nag Hammadi texts perform a total reversal of the traditional narrative, especially the biblical one. In the Apocryphon of John, humanity, despite being trapped, contains a stolen spark of the divine light. In fact, the first man, Adam, is spiritually superior to the Archons who created his physical body, and it's Eve who is the hero. She isn't the cause of the fall. She's a spiritual revealer sent from the Pleroma to awaken Adam and reveal the path to Gnosis, or knowledge. In the hypostasis of the Archons, humanity is seen as a direct threat to the power of the Archons. The spiritual feminine, represented by figures like Eve and another hero, Noria, is consistently the liberating force. The body becomes a battlefield, the site of the struggle between the Archons trying to trap us and the divine spark trying to break free. In these texts, man is no longer responsible for his fall. He is a victim of cosmic violence, a divine prisoner of war. How, then, is one saved? This is where the figure of the revealer, or Christ, comes in. In Poimandres, the revealer is Poimandres himself, the divine mind who appears in a vision. There is no incarnation into a human body. The revelation is a direct internal experience of Gnosis. In Valentinian Gnosticism, Christ is an aeon from the Pleroma who descends to earth. He only appears to have a human body. His mission is to bring the secret knowledge that can heal the cosmic fracture and save the trapped spiritual seeds. The Nag Hammadi texts present a very different Christ. In the Apocryphon of John, he is a post-resurrection revealer. He appears not to the masses, but in secret to his chosen disciples to teach them the true nature of reality and transmit powerful words that can dismantle the Archon's power. In the hypostasis of the Archons, salvation comes through this secret, subversive knowledge. Christ is sometimes an implicit figure, but the Gnosis he represents is always anti-cosmic. It's knowledge that helps you defy the system, not conform to it. This leads us to the ultimate goal, salvation. What does it look like? For Poimandres, salvation is a harmonious return. The soul ascends through the planetary spheres, shedding its earthly passions until it merges back into the divine light, a beautiful fusion with the One. For Valentinus, salvation is a return to the Pleroma, the spiritual fullness. It's a reunion, but one where the individual spiritual seed retains its identity. You join the divine family without dissolving into it. For the Nag Hammadi Gnostics, salvation is an escape. It's a radical rupture with creation. The goal is not to harmonize with the cosmos, but to break out of it completely. Salvation means unmasking the false god, deactivating the Archons, and fleeing the material prison forever. It's a jailbreak. One of the most powerful themes that emerges, especially in Nag Hammadi, is the rehabilitation of the divine feminine. Figures like Barbelo, the first emanation of the Father, Sophia, whose fall creates the crisis, and Eve, the awakener, are central. They are not subordinate, but active, powerful, and often heroic spiritual forces. So let's put it all together. What is the core initiatory meaning of each path? Poimandres and Hermeticism are about awakening. The message is, remember who you truly are. You are a divine being who has forgotten your origin. Valentinus Gnosticism is about healing. The message is, you are separated from your home, but you are loved and can be restored. You are part of a cosmic wound that must be mended. Basilides Gnosticism is about deliverance. The message is, you are trapped in a cosmic machine of fate and karma, and you must find the rare key to escape it. And finally, the radical Gnosticism of Nag Hammadi is a call for sacred revolt. The message is, you are imprisoned by a false god in a counterfeit world. Unmask the lie, wake up, and flee. To put it even more simply, Hermeticism sees the world as a mirror reflecting the divine. Christian Gnosticism sees the world as a wound that needs healing. The Nag Hammadi texts see the world as a lie that must be exposed. Poimandres tells you, you have fallen through forgetfulness. Valentinus tells you, you are separated, but loved. But Nag Hammadi shouts, you are imprisoned, wake up and flee. From a universe of immanent light to a prison of cosmic deception, this incredible journey shows just how profoundly our spiritual narratives can shape our reality. Which one resonates most with you? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more explorations into the mysteries of the past. See you next time.